Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is the Organized Money, where we talk about how to organize your life, your work, and your money. In today's video, we're going to be diving into my notebooks. So I wanted to talk to you about how I use my notebooks and how they aid in the use of my planner. So my planner is the one book that I use to organize my entire life, and many times when I am sharing this planner with you all, you see that I have my schedule, my social media, my faith, my budget, my to-do section. A lot of you will ask me about home and life planning, like where is the stuff for your kids? What about their schooling? What about the holiday stuff? Where is all of that stuff going when it's in your planner? But a majority of the time, that information is not going to be in my planner. Parts of it will be in my to-do section or in my life section when I am writing down different things that I may need to do for my family. But a lot of the project planning, the home planning, the cleaning, and all of that stuff will be in my home notebook instead of in my planner. I first introduced my home notebook to you all in a video toward the beginning of the year, and I will link that one above. But since then, we really haven't talked about it that much. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of an update on how I use that notebook and how it kind of coincides with my planner. But first, let me share with you the two notebooks that I have off to the side here. The very top one is my home notebook, and this is the one that we're going to do a deeper dive into. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the cover, because this is the original cover that I was selling in my shop. However, the manufacturer no longer sells this exact type of cover anymore, so it has switched to this one. So as you can see, it's a little bit more of a two-tone brown instead of the solid brown. So this one is a little bit darker than this one, but I did want to share the difference just in case you decide to pick up the brown cover. It will look like this and not like this, and so I did want to share that with you. But this is actually my social media notebook, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a deeper dive into this one in my next video. But for this video, we are really going to be focused in on my home and family planning, and that happens within my home notebook. So as soon as you open up my home notebook, the very first thing that you see is my home notebook cover. And then the very first section is my daily section. So my daily section is where I will plan out my day, especially if I need to rearrange my day or I need to go into more details. So how I use this section with my planner is where I will plan out my entire week. So I will flip open to my weekly section. I will see everything that I have already put on here, because I usually plan this out on a Sunday, but I might have to adjust some things. I may need to add some things. I may need to rearrange my schedule because it's not going to work out as I have listed it here. And so I will do that on these sheets. I will go to a blank section and I will fill this out. Now, do I need to do this every single day? No, I only usually have to do it a couple of times throughout the month, but it is very helpful whenever I need it. So I will usually look at this section to see if I need to rearrange my schedule. And then I will also flip over to my to-do section and see if there are any other to-dos that I might need to add in. So it's basically the combination of my weekly and my to-do section, and I will put it here as I am planning for the day. So that is the very first section that I have within my notebook. The next section is my habit tracker. My habit tracker is where I will list out all of the habits that I would like to do throughout my week, and then I'm going to mark off if I actually got them done throughout the week. So how it works with my planner, usually it's within my weekly section, and I will list out the top things that I would like to get done. I want it to be in my faith planner. I will mark off laundry or my budget, whatever I would like to do. I will usually kind of jot it down here, but it's not a full list of all of my habits. These are just the top habits that I would like to get done, and I will list out all of the habits that I would like to get done on a daily basis on my habit tracker. I usually will either highlight or I will use a red pen to mark off what I actually got done. So this week I did use a highlighter, and yellow was yes, blue was no, and then this pink was partially, which means that I did do something, but it wasn't to the fullest extent of what I wanted to do. But I still give myself some points for actually getting it done. So sometimes with my habit tracker, I will just highlight the bubbles. Other times I will use a red pen. So I use a red pen if I just don't have a highlighter on me, or I feel like I'm going to be running around a lot and I may not want to carry all of my highlighters, and so I will just use a red pen. And if I do multiple lines, then that means it was done. If it's a line across, horizontal, I didn't do it. If it's a diagonal, I partially did it. But it's the same method. It's just based on what I have in front of me. My habit tracker does help me to stay on top of my habits. I tried to stop using it earlier this year and I really fell off with a lot of my habits. I think that I didn't realize how much this habit tracker was just reminding me to do the task. And so I did put it back into my system for the second quarter because it really, really does help me. And I don't usually carry my home notebook with me. This one usually stays home. So if I am completing habits throughout the week and I know I'm going to be on the go, I will just pull it out of my home notebook and I will add it into my weekly notebook. And then when I am done after that week, I will pull it out and put it back into my home notebook. And that's one thing that I've always loved about the Discbound system is how customizable it is. Many times you might see my habit tracker within my planner, but the home for my habit tracker lives in my home notebook. And this is where I will keep all of these additional sheets, which is why you might see it in my planner sometimes and other times you don't. But that is how I use my habit tracker, and that is how it coincides with my actual planner. The next section in my notebook is my meal planner. So my meal planner is the one where I'm kind of marking down all of the meals that we eat throughout the week. And yes, I do have it to where I can do that within my daily sheets. But whenever I'm marking it here, it's usually after everything's already been planned out, like I know exactly what I'm supposed to be eating, or we've already decided that we're going to eat out at a restaurant, and I'm just kind of marking it down because I already know it's going to happen. But here is where I am doing my planning. This is where I'm figuring out what's going to happen at the beginning of the week, and I will usually add my dates and kind of mark it off. Now this week is a little bit different because my birthday was Wednesday, and since it was my birthday, our food was all over the place this week. I have been doing a lot of celebrating, and so this is not the best example, but this is something that I like to do throughout a week, especially if I'm spending more. I will mark off how much money we are spending. So I went out to eat on my actual birthday. I went to brunch with friends and I spent $60, and so I just wrote that in that was how much I spent. But I love having a meal planner here because you can mark off your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, and you can kind of plan out the entire week. On a normal week, me and my husband will usually sit down. We will decide who's gonna cook and what we're going to eat, and then I will mark it all down and add any groceries or anything else that we might need to the back of the sheet. And we do usually have a lot of staples. Like on Tuesday, we're usually doing Taco Tuesday. Fridays, we usually do a homemade pizza. We also have a spaghetti night. So we have the same type of food in rotation, but writing it down really helps me with the overall grocery bill and making sure that I have everything that we need for all of our meals throughout the week. But this is how I keep track of our meals throughout the week. I know that you do not see that one really at all within my planner. Sometimes I will add it on my to-do planner. I might add it on my sidebar every now and then. I might put it at the top or put it on the side here. But for the most part, I save that only for my weekly meal planner, and I will keep everything here. Now the next section is a newer section. I did not have this in my home notebook when I first started it, but I did decide to add it toward the middle of the year, and this is my health tracker. And this is another one that I felt like I just missed. I wasn't working out as much or really keeping up with my overall health, and it was because I just didn't have this sheet. I really do much better with my health, with my wellness, with my habits, with everything if I track it. And so this is the one that I added back into my home notebook, and this is my health tracker. At the top here, you see I can track my sleep. I do have a sleep number bed, and so it will give me a score, and I will add that score throughout the week on here. I also am keeping track of my weight. I do have about 10 more pounds that I want to lose, so I'm keeping track of my weight at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. I also have my workouts here. Now I will add my workouts within my weekly planner. I will write down at the very top how long I walked. Like if I walked about 2 miles, I'm writing it here. But on this page, page, I am able to add way more detail. How long did I walk? How long did it take me to walk that distance? If I did any additional workouts, like sometimes I will add in cardio. I might do some strength training. I might do yoga. We might do Pilates, whatever the case may be. I want to be able to write out those details on this sheet as well. And then I have my additional health habits that I want to keep up with. Like, did I take my vitamins? When's the last time I got a facial, doctor's appointments, and things like that. So I think that this one will be a great addition to my home notebook. I do feel like I need it. And on the back here, I still have my workout tracker. And this is where I can, once again, add more detail. I always do a morning walk. That one is standard across every single weekday. However, I will do additional workouts throughout the week as well. Like sometimes I will do jump rope, or like I said, Pilates, yoga, something else. And so when that happens, I did want to have a way to track it. And so that is what I'm going to put on this page. So I'm really excited about adding this one back into there. And the next one I have in here is my home cleaning section. So this is another one I get a lot of questions on, and it's because you don't see anything regarding home cleaning within my planner. Even on my home schedule, you don't see anything other than my daily laundry and dishes within my schedule or within my planner, but I am staying on top of my cleaning using this sheet. Now, my cleaning is one that is really on routine. I do a lot of things based on the day of the week. So I have certain days where I'm doing certain things. And so usually I will add in the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't clean on Sundays. And I will write down the things that I am planning on doing on that particular day. That is the main way that I will use this home cleaning sheet. However, there are times where I am doing a particular project where I might need to go a little bit deeper. And instead of using these for the days of the week, I will use them for certain rooms. So I will put kitchen or closet or bedroom, and then I will jot down all of the things that I need to do in that particular room. So if I'm doing a decluttering project, I might do declutter closet, and then I might write down the steps for that decluttering project. Okay, we'll start with the clothes, where I take out all of the clothes and I will donate ones that I no longer use or are too small. And my next step might be to organize my purses. But either way, I like to use these sheets in order to stay on top of all of my home cleaning and all of my home projects. So for the most part, it's pretty standard, but every now and then I will need to do a deeper dive. But I love this sheet for this process because it's super simple. As you can see, you're either putting rooms or you're putting the days of the week. You're keeping it simple. You don't have to do the exact same thing every single time. I can kind of mark off the things that I really need to pay attention to. And I also will use this at the beginning of the month to mark off things that may only happen once a month, like changing our air filter. And so it's a great way for me to stay on top of the last time we did it and making sure that we do it at the beginning of every single month. So that is how I use my home cleaning sheet. And the last section is a journal section, or an other section. And this is where I will keep all of my home lists, or the things that I need to do for the house, or just other life, personal organization things that I need to write down. So this was the 15 lists that you need to write down to organize your life. I did this on video with you all. I will link it above if you missed that one, but I like to keep it in here just so I can glance at it and make sure that I am doing all of the things on this list. I also have my saving categories from January through March. I did this one as a video as well. I will link that one above. And are you thriving in all of the areas of your life? And so these are all of the areas of my life and the questions that I wanted to ask myself about those areas. And once again, I did a video on this one as well, so I will link it above. But this section is really just journal paper. It is just me jotting down any and every other thing that could come up. I use this one a lot of time to mark down travel. Like if we have upcoming travel, I have confirmation numbers and I'm keeping track of what hotel we are staying at or any other additional details. It will go in this section. I also do a lot of holiday planning back here as well. I do have some holiday sheets that I will use toward the end of the year and to add in the additional things that may be needed for the house that don't really really fit into any of these other sections. And this is the last sections. So as you can see, this doesn't really replace my planner. It is a great addition to my planner because nothing in here is dated. There is not one calendar. It's all inserts, but I am using it throughout my month to go a little bit deeper into the topics that I have listed within my planner. So my planner may plan out the week, but here I will plan out my day. I will have the highlighted part of my habits within my planner, but my habit tracker will have a detailed list of all of the habits. I will jot down my meals, but my meal planner will have all of the meals that I would like to eat throughout the week. So it just goes a little bit deeper than what I have in my Tom 90 planner. And my Tom 90 planner is still the one book that I will use because I do not carry this one with me. I will pull out inserts and put it into here. This is the only book that I am carrying around, and that's why I just love to pull sheets back and forth. But this one is a great addition. It helps me to go a little bit deeper and be a little bit more detailed. And do you have to do the same? You may not. I know some people who just have my home notebook and they're like, this is all I need. I don't even need the planner. All I need is a place to kind of jot down all the things that's going on with my house, and I don't have all of that stuff going on, or I just like to keep it simple and this is enough. Or you could be like me where you need both. You have a lot going on, and being able to go into a little bit more detail is helpful as well. I did want to share that with you because I do get questions from time to time about why they don't see a lot of home stuff within my planner, and that's because it's in this notebook. So I did want to share that one with you, and in my next video we're gonna go a little bit deeper into how it works with my social media notebook, which is another one that I shared with you earlier this year. And so we'll just do a little update on that one. But guys, I hope that this video has helped you, and I will see you all in my next one. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.